Breaking news, my country people, it's happening. The Labour Party members protest against alleged last-minute change of polling unit officers in Imo State. Yes, some concerned loyalists and members of the Labour Party on Saturday morning held a protest at the Ikengbu Girls Polling Unit in Owerri in Imo State. And this followed the changing of polling unit officers already trained on how to make use of the beavers by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). And I can tell you that these protesters have accused the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) of being behind it, and has said that they are planning to rig the governorship election. My country people, we all know that in Bayelsa, in Kogi, and in Imo State, November 11th governorship election is currently ongoing in these three states in the country. And we have some members of the Labour Party that have pointed accusation fingers at the APC of trying to, in fact, they are planning to rig the governorship election. Mr. Chibuike Idala, the Labour Party's governorship candidate in the state, have accused INEC of changing polling unit officers in various parts of the state, saying those initially trained were dropped at the last minute by the electoral body. And at this point, Senator Atan Achonu Media Center have raised an alarm to alert security agencies and patriotic INEC staffs, especially those sent from outside Owerri for this election, about plans that are being, ongoing to compromise the beavers for the use of today's election. Now, a reliable intel from some local governments in Owerri, the federal constituency, has uncovered these plans by the technical team in these local governments, discussing about issuing wrong passwords to some of the ad hoc staff for this election. Specifically, the devious plan was being discussed at the Owerri and the Owerri North local government areas, where the head of the Ratchet team had concluded plans to issue wrong passwords to PO, especially those posted to polling units with large voters. According to the source, the instruction is to ensure that some of the beavers malfunction at the polling unit. Guys, it's happening again. He alleged that the move was to tamper with the polling, that's the election result, and has urged security operatives to ensure that compromised INEC staff do not create a crisis during this electoral exercise. Guys, it's happening over and over again. This cycle of electoral manipulation, electoral fraud, rigging of election in Nigerians' election is getting out of hand. I mean, what kind of country are we in? Is it that we never learn our mistakes, or what? What's really happening? Because had it been we've learned our mistakes, all these things wouldn't be reoccurring again. And I guess that these persons are quite aware of what's happening, yet they chose to be ignorant over what? Peanuts given to them to manipulate the system and rig the election at the detriment of their future and their unborn generations yet to come. For how long would the money given to them to do all these things last? And at the end of the day, they'll be left to suffer and cry at the hands of a corrupt government that doesn't mean well for the people. This is absolutely unacceptable, and nobody can rig an election without INEC orchestrating it. INEC is always the master planner. Technical glitches successfully downloaded. Logistics Promax activated. Honestly, Nigerian citizens, they fear too much. This government is too wicked. If it's like this, then there is no need to conduct election in Nigeria. You see, why all these things are happening? APC and Wuruwuru na 5 and 6. we have an evil government in this country and action needs to be taken. It is better they amend it and put it into constitution that once you win an election, you will stay there for 8 years. Because the way they are going about it at the detriment of the masses is alarming. What kind of evil leaders do we have in this country? They never play by the rules because they believe in cheating, they believe in rigging, they believe in corruption and manipulations. So, to win election against APC in Nigeria is like the kingdom of heaven that need violence. Because the last election, Petition Court told the world that violence won election in Nigeria, not majority vote. So hire the thugs and secure the victory by force and ask the APC to go to court, just like the APC slogan. Guys, these are reactions from Nigerians. You see, the elections just started and it hasn't gone halfway. The day hasn't gone halfway, and yet we are receiving disturbing news in some states in Nigeria, especially these states where these elections are taking place. Now, in Imo State, it is totally a different ball game because the opposition parties in the state, they've raised the alarm that this is what they are facing in case of if anything should go south. They have raised the alarm that this is what is happening and this is the plan of the APC in the state, and they've accused the APC that they are planning to rig the election. Now, how can the APC rig the election without the help of an INEC official, without the help of the INEC commissioner or the INEC staffs stationed at that particular polling unit where they are planning to rig the election? It's not possible. The APC cannot just wake up and say they want to rig the election just like that. They would need people in the INEC to help carry out these plans. Now I wonder how these INEC staffs bring themselves so low to an extent of being compromised now that the elections is upon them. This is really serious. And yet we complain every day that the government is not trying, the government is corrupt, the government is this, the government is that. Yet, this issue of corruption starts with each and every one of us because there are staffs that are deliberately going to do some certain manipulations that would lead to the rigging of the elections. Now, these people, these INEC staffs, they are not government. They are individuals just like you and I that are being pushed to do something at the detriment of their own state, the detriment of their own country and their own people, which is quite terrible. So this issue of corruption did not start only from our government. It started from the people. It started because if everyone would have integrity and say no in the face of corruption, then Nigeria would not be in this place that we are now. It can't be like saying that we they do ourselves for this country. So my country people, make we dey see how the matter they go because the election just starts. And we don't dey see gbas everywhere. People don't dey complain say see wetin dey happen oh. We no understand oh. Clashes everywhere for inside Imo State. Guys, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thank you.